Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the show. You know, in today's business world, we see an industry that was dominantly run by men being slowly taken over by women. The women entrepreneurs of this, thank you, the women entrepreneurs of this country are just becoming a force to be reckoned with. They're an army. And on today's show, we're actually going to be talking with two very successful women. First, we're going to be talking with entrepreneur and former Miss Alabama, Vickie Powers is here. Attractive lady. She's still got it. We're also going to be talking with entrepreneur and direct sales expert, Rochelle Godwin is on the show. Stick around, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back. We have a great show tonight, and my good dear friend Margot Bush is back. Margot, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Actually, I see you all the time.
Yeah. I was going to say, you do. You see me all the time.
It's been like 24 hours.
It has been. So, yeah.
I know you're a big Broadway person, and you're into musicals and all that. And it's been out for a while, but I watched the, I guess the Grammys were on a while back, and I decided, we went out and saw Les Mis.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. And I need to go.
I saw the movie with Liam Neeson a while, I guess, 10, 12 years ago or whenever it came out. It was a great movie. But this is actually the full musical. So I was a little gun shy about, you know, everybody busting out and song like, you remember the old West Side Story with like the, while they're singing?
Well, and I asked you if you went to, it's been a while, but I asked you if you went to see a Phantom of the Opera because it was really big, and I watched.
I've seen Phantom
so many times.
But this movie, I'll tell you, it was kind of a bittersweet because the performances are absolutely phenomenal, but it was a real tearjerker. At least for me, I'm kind of a baby, but I was bawling.
I'm so surprised
I was trying to be brave. No, I really liked it.
I didn't expect you to. I wouldn't have, you know.
I'm like that dumb, like, action. Yeah. No, I like musicals. Yeah. But I'm very excited about our show tonight. You know, we have somebody in the house that has had a great career with theater and singing. And
I mean, it would have been my second life.
She's not only been in that industry for many years and seen the changes over the years, but also she was former Miss Alabama.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to get her out here. Let's bring her out, Miss Vickie Powers.
Hello, how are you, darling? Good.
It's such a pleasure to see you.
It's lovely
Thanks for
to
coming.
meet you.
I have to say that as soon as you walked in tonight, I knew it was you. I'm like, that's got to be the beauty queen, because the way that you carry yourself is still very much, you know, you're all glam.
Yeah.
So
makes you sit up straight.
Yeah, I have bad posture, so I'm going to take a lesson from you tonight of try to be sitting up straight. But first of all, I want to know, I know that we talked briefly backstage, and you were born in Hawaii. And then at a very young age, you came to Alabama, and you were kind of grew up as a young child in Alabama. And then all of a sudden, you make the move, I believe at 19, to New York, and studied at the Manhattan School of Music, and then got accepted into the Metropolitan Opera Studio. Tell us a little bit about how you did that. I mean, was it overwhelming going to that big city, or was it the plan all along?
No, it was a dream that I'd had since I was about 4 years old, best I can remember. And I just knew that I was going to New York City. After I won Miss Alabama, they wanted to give me scholarships to the University of Alabama and to Huntington and all over Alabama. And I said, no, I want to go to New York. And I sat there with this little hung dog face, and I just begged for a scholarship to the Manhattan School of Music.
And got it.
And I got it.
Oh, wow.
Persistence.
Oh, wow.
Really pays. Well, and I'll tell you, I know that opened up a lot of doors for you, that kind of exposure. In fact, you went on to perform on Broadway with Robert Goulet and The Happy Time. Tell us a little bit about that experience with young Robert.
That was also a dream come true. When I was very young, I'd listen to Robert Goulet on the radio. And I never really cared about anybody else. Maybe Frank Sinatra, maybe Tony Bennett, but Robert Goulet, oh, he was my idol. And lo and behold, I got to New York. Gower Champion asked me to audition for The Happy Time, you know Gower Champion. And also I I auditioned for another show, and I actually had to choose between 2 Broadway shows. Isn't that exciting?
And you
That's
picked
I
with.
can't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
But I picked Robert Goulet.
Yeah, how could you
And
not? Well, and for our
Howard
younger people in the audience or viewers, you know, to this day they still do skits about him on Saturday Night Live with Robert Goulet drinking the scotch. But in his day, I mean, he was just gorgeous. I mean, everybody was, him and Carol Lawrence they were the it couple.
They were. Carol Lawrence was gorgeous, and he was gorgeous, and
did you ever?
they were the ideal.
Yeah, they
couple.
sure were. Did you ever get a chance to meet Carol
I
Lawrence?
did, but we didn't become big buddies because
Yeah.
she was very busy and we were very busy. And
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm dear friends with Carol to this day, and she's still at it. She's like 77, still going, and her son Chris is a good friend of mine. Looks just like Robert Goulet, but I actually a while back, Carol asked me. We were in New York together, and she says, "I want to meet Donald Trump, and I know that you know him, and can you introduce me to Donald Trump? I want to see about getting on Celebrity Apprentice." So I took Carol to meet Trump. He was very gracious to her. And I don't know if that's a future plan, but I think she'd be great on the Celebrity Apprentice. But she's still an amazing lady. Of course, Robert's passed away. But you remind me, I have to say, your mannerisms and the way you carry yourself very much like Carol, which is a great compliment.
That is a great compliment. She was a most classy lady.
She really is. And, you know, I want to find out more about you. And I know that you even did some big stuff with Disney. We're going to take a quick break. But I want to hear more about your career, not only in singing, but I was hoping to maybe show a little piece of the Miss Alabama and maybe even get a little sample of some singing. I don't want to put you on the spot. But we'll be right back with Vickie Powers in a minute. Don't go anywhere. I'm here with the lovely former Miss Alabama. And we were talking before the break that you had done Broadway with Robert Goulet. What I'm sure a dream come true for any lady in America. That was what they were campaigning for. But that really propelled your musical career. And I know that you worked in Fantasyland with Disney. And of course, they have a famous choir that you got to work with. But tell us a few of your roles over at Disney.
I was the leading lady in the Diamond Horseshoe. I was Slewfoot Sue. I had my own dressing room, and my daughter had quite a time. She would come to my dressing room, and all the characters would come to her birthday parties, and I mean, there'd be Snow White and Mary Poppins and Cinderella and Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, and you know, it was just fun. Another dream come true. I was also the singing Snow White and the singing Mary Poppins.
Wow.
And I got to perform on stage with these magnificent musicians.
Yeah, they're
on
phenomenal.
On the fantasy stage.
Yeah, and I know that you're so old Hollywood, old Broadway, you know, just that, I'm sure back in the day it was just amazing the way it's portrayed in movies. And talking to Carol, the last time I was at her house, she'll just have something in her car. So what is this? She's like, those are my shoes from Smithsonian when I was Maria in West Side Story.
Oh,
you know,
she was marvelous.
Yeah, she'll talk about just making
yeah,
meatballs, and she's like, the meatballs are fabulous, darling. I mean, she's so theatrical because you've had so many years of training, and that still comes through with you, the way you carry yourself. It's just, you can tell the classic Broadway when it was really something.
Yeah, but you ought to see me on the beach with my fishing pole.
So you can still become that Alabama girl.
Oh, yes, sir, I can.
You're making all the guys in here sweat a little bit.
I love my beach, and I love my fishing and
Oh,
golf.
wow.
And
Now, let's talk a little bit about former Miss Alabama. I know you were also a former contestant on Miss America as well. And what was your? I didn't know much about it. And as I mentioned, I'm not best friends with Donald, but I've met him a few times. And as you know, he owns, I believe, Miss USA.
yes.
And I never really knew how much hard work the girls put into, because in the movies, they kind of portray it as like, we all want world peace and these ditzy gals, but you really got to be a sharp cookie to even be a contestant on anything, from what I saw, and the schedule and the pace that you have to maintain. Tell us about, you know, winning Miss Alabama. And your
Well,
time with
Miss
pageantry?
Alabama, Miss America is very different from Miss
Miss
Alabama, Miss USA.
Sure.
Now, these Miss USA girls are absolutely gorgeous, and they're almost 6 feet tall, and they have these beautiful bodies, and thank goodness it wasn't that way in the Miss America pageant.
Well,
Or I wouldn't be sitting here right now saying I was a Miss Alabama, but God blessed me with a talent.
okay, and I know that. Can you give us a little sample now? I know you said earlier you've been a little under the way. You've had a kind of a voice thing, but a little sample for the audience, because I know you still got it. I could tell.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. That's what it takes. So that one hands down, and that's, wow. So it's not everybody gets on Broadway. It takes a real talent. And I know that even currently you're doing many things. You've actually become the president of several different outfits, including golf clubs and country clubs and all kinds of stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Well, right now I'm working for Dr. McCullough, and that keeps
Big
me very
name in our
busy.
area.
Very, very busy. I'm his consultationist and publicist. And I can't tell you, he is just a wonderful man, and he's going to be on the show on
Yes.
February the 4th. He will be taped here. Also, I teach voice and piano. I'm an event planner. I do weddings, golf tournaments. I've been the president of the Ladies Golf Association at the Country Club of Mobile. I have many friends all over the Southeast. And
Ballet, president of the ballet.
president of the ballet company. It was Ballet Bienville. And I just travel all about, and with me everywhere I go, I take Dr. McCullough's book. And I'm constantly promoting Dr. McCullough, no matter what I do.
Well, he's done so much for the community, and we're looking
Yes,
forward to
he
meeting
has.
him. But you yourself you're still out there full time doing a great job for the country. And I have to ask, I know you do a lot of golf stuff now. Are you a pretty good golfer?
So.
I'm going to have to take some lessons because
I actually have been the champion of my country club several
I'm
times.
jealous. I'm a terrible golfer, but I'm going to have to take
I
some
want to
lessons.
go golfing, but I don't want to go with you.
No, we'll go, but no cameras.
Yeah, I'll go with Dan. He's
No,
like,
well, I have to ask
I'm a
you.
good teacher.
okay.
I'm a pretty good teacher, and we have
Okay.
a lot of fun.
I have
Well,
to ask
I'm
you
your
real
new
quick
best friend.
before we go. Let me ask you, what do you think about the I know that the current Miss Alabama has been on the news quite a bit about, and of course, her boyfriend, quarterback for Alabama. Any thoughts on that at all?
I think, since I'm a big Alabama fan, and Alabama was just killing them. I mean, it was a blowout, and A.J. McCarron and the team was doing such a fabulous job. It was especially interesting for me to hear about this Miss Alabama and how much attention they were paying to her, and his mom. I thought she was pretty cute too. But
Yeah.
I just thought it was wonderful, because I thought that, okay, everybody's going to see this is Miss Alabama. Of course, it was Miss Alabama USA, not Miss Alabama Miss America.
Yes.
But still, the Miss America pageant was just a few nights later.
Yeah, right.
And the Miss Alabama Miss America pageant is a really wonderful scholarship program for girls. So
Well, and
I'm glad that that happened.
When you
I
do something like
truly
that
am.
too, you live kind of under the public eye, and
Yes.
so they're going to be there. But well, it was a real pleasure having you on the show. Come back, please, and see us.
Thank you. I'm so glad you came to the area.
Well,
What an
I'm
asset
excited to
you
be here.
are.
Well, thank you very much. Vickie Powers, everybody. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with entrepreneur and direct sales expert, Rochelle Godwin.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome back. I wanted to mention real quick, we get a lot of emails in asking about what kind of things do we have on the show. Is it all business? Actually, recently, as some of you know, we had an episode featuring Patty Hall with the Zoo. So, I mean, we are looking for young entrepreneurs. We are fortunate enough to get some celebrities as well. But, you know, we're looking for interesting human pieces. So if you know of any great story or something interesting that you think that would be fitting our show, you can email us or check out our website at tuesdayswithdan.com or info@tuesdayswithdan.com. And you can, of course, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, all of that you can get from the site. Our next guest tonight is Rochelle Godwin. She's a very successful entrepreneur and direct sales expert. Please welcome Rochelle Godwin. Whoa, I don't want to. Thank you for coming. I got tangled up in your mic pack. It's okay. Well, it's a real pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And I'm actually particularly interested in getting to the nuts and bolts and talking with you because I mentioned backstage that I come from a direct selling background for 16 years. And I always say I had some good advice from a mentor years ago saying, if you think you're really good, why don't you get into sales and learn people? And that's how you really make a lot of money. And they said, our advice to you is not just sales, but direct sales. And because that's the toughest. And I remember going in, it wasn't, you know, in most industries, you want to get some education about that field or about other people that are doing it successfully. But in direct sales, it's like, especially the kind I was in, it was literally like self-educate or die. So we had to pick up the Zig Ziglar, Tommy Hopkins books. We had to figure out what was going pretty quickly because I know, and of course, some of us were making a substantial investment, which I know now today that's really changed. People can become very successful for a few $100s if they'll.
Exactly. The industry has changed a lot.
It really has. Well, and let me ask you a question. First of all, you've been in direct sales for a long time. What do you love about direct sales? Because it's not for everybody, but I think anybody can do it.
I think this business is a business that empowers people. That's what I love about it the most, is we get an opportunity to help people excel through edification, unlike corporate America, where they really beat down on you. And so it's amazing to watch someone learn what their potential is. The other thing I love about direct sales, quite frankly, is the time freedom.
Yes.
That is, for me, the lifestyle suddenly that you get. It's very different from corporate America. My husband actually lost 2 businesses due to the market crash and due to the oil spill. And he lost a 6-figure income. But you know what? The bottom line is, when he had that 6-figure income, I never saw him. He was never home.
Big price to pay.
And since having lost those 2 businesses, and with my success in direct sales, there's times when I'm like, honey, don't you have somewhere to be?
Yeah.
Hello, I mean, because there is such a time freedom.
If you want to put in a 10, 12-hour day and hit it hard,
Exactly.
if you don't want to go the next day, you don't have to. And what I like about it is you're really building residual income, which so many people forget to do.
A lot of people don't understand residual income. Residual income is the work you do now that you get paid repeatedly, again and again and again. And a lot of people don't understand the power of that. It's leveraging the efforts of other people. It's leveraging a product that, for me, is a reusable. It's consumable. And I'm in skincare. They use it, and their bottle gets empty. They have to call me back to get some more.
Well, I have a good friend, Larry Butler, that was a Grammy winner, recently passed away, but he used to always say, you know, I knew early on I wanted to get into a business that had residual, like the Michael Jackson model, like sing it once and get paid forever. And that's really, in essence, what you're able to do, is the work you're doing now could pay off for ultimately
years. It's a brilliant business model that a lot of people do not understand. There's a lot of misconceptions about the direct selling industry.
Well, let's talk about that. I know a lot of people are hesitant to join a direct sales company because there is a lot of misconceptions, or there's negative views of like that's a get-rich-quick scheme or a pyramid. But honestly, I know many people personally that have failed at direct sales. I know many people, a dear friend of mine is in 7-figure income with one of them that she does very well. But like anything, I think you get what you put into it.
That is exactly correct. First of all, most people, as you and I were talking, come into this industry thinking, I'm going to try it. Let's just see what happens. I'll give it 6 months, and I'll give it a try. Well, with that attitude, you're going to get exactly what you put into it. I love the analogy that people always, the slogan, work it like a hobby, you get paid as a hobby.
Right.
Work it as a business, you will get paid as a business.
Right.
And when you work this business, and for me, I have hours of operations. This is what I do full time. I work it like a business. But you know what? I get lots of time to schedule for myself, to do the things I want to do. How many people have that opportunity? And this industry produces more millionaires than any other single industry.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And let me ask you a question. I know by the DSA, the Direct Selling Association, which I'm very familiar with, there's a lot of restrictions on being able to mention names of companies, things like that, that we absolutely can't do. But let me ask you, you know, for our viewers out there, that are watching and they're saying, you know, I don't have a lot of capital. I got laid off, or this happened in life, and I just need one opportunity. I can't really put a lot of money together. Maybe my credit's shot, but just give me a chance, and I'm a hard worker. What kind of money? I mean, what can we get started in? What was your investment, if you don't mind me asking?
I can tell you, for my company is less than $1,000 that you can be the CEO of your own business.
Yeah.
And that, it's not like a brick and mortar business. You are the CEO of your own company.
Right. And, you know, and in a very short period of time, from what I understand, if worked correctly, you know, 6 months to a year, you can really get a very, not only replacement income, but.
Exactly. In this industry, if you work your business with a 3 to 5 year plan, with a real plan, you can almost compress 30 to 40 years of traditional business into that 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
That's why it's so brilliant. Where else can you go and have that, have time freedom, have lifestyle, and have, for me, I've earned multiple trips, 5-star resorts, and we have our car program. I drive a Lexus.
Right, and they gave that to you.
Yeah,
I was reading your bio earlier, and it was like they paying trips to Maui. I'm like, man, I want her life.
I'm right in the middle of earning another trip to Maui to a 5-star resort. I mean, where else can you go? Direct selling, the direct sales model is one of the best models of business. You skip the middleman.
That's right.
So.
Well, and what I like about it is, you know, again, there's not a big investment in, you know, to get in.
And there's not a huge investment of time.
Right.
And I'd like to just say that, because most people have a misconception that they have got to work this full time.
It's going to own them in 50 hours a week.
You work this business exactly where you are in your life. I know that when I started this business, my stepson had come to live with us. And my husband and I had both very, very successful, busy, time-consuming corporate careers. And I started working the business on the ball field.
Right.
You work the business at church. Wherever your lifestyle is, that's where you work your business.
Right.
The average person only has 10, 12 hours a week. You do it consistently. That would be the key, consistency. Have a plan. And I also want to say this, being coachable and trainable, you and I were talking earlier, every business model is different. Every compensation plan in every company is different. You cannot walk into that business with your mindset of what you think will make sense. You've got to work it with whatever has been, what's proven for that
Don't reinvent
company.
the wheel.
And if you don't reinvent the wheel, you'll have success, and you'll have it very quickly.
What, if you could give one business tip that you think has been your key to success, what would you say?
Mindset, attitude. We call it wit, whatever it takes. You don't go in trying it, you go in with the mindset, you're going to do it.
Yeah, and if people want to get a hold of you, do you have an email or anything we can send?
rgodwin, RGODWIN 66 @yahoo.com.
How many people are going to let you contact her directly? rgodwin.com?
Yes.
.com. And listen, it's such a pleasure to have you here. I know when we get up here, time goes crazy. It's like sitting into a time warp. But please come back. We'd love to follow your career, learn more about what you're doing, and you're such a great inspiration to so many women out there that feel like they. Well, that shows.
It does.
That shows. Rochelle Godwin, everybody.
Thank you.
That's our show. Thank you for tuning in, and remember to get involved in your local community and be forgiving of others. Good night, everybody. Hi, I'm Dan Vega, and thank you for watching our channel. I want to take a second to tell you about a resource that's helping thousands of people across the country, BLU University. BLU University is the premier online business school for entrepreneurs and business leaders. You know, if you find yourself in a day-to-day grind where you've lost your joy, or you're just tired of struggling, then check out BLU.University. That's BLU.University. I can promise that you receive nothing short of a multi-million-dollar education. And if you want a completely different life in 3 to 6 months and a way to create wealth in 5 years or less, then again, check it out. That's BLU.University. Find out why blue is the new color of success. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel or to give us a good rating, but that's only if you see value. And when you do receive value, make sure to share it with someone else. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.